What is going on, you guys? My name is Cody Thixton, and this is Interesting Podcast. Coming to you guys on January 29th, 2023 for episode 18, where tonight we are going to be talking about the 2023 Royal Rumble pay-per-view that just happened last night, and it actually kick-started the road to WrestleMania. And there are a whole lot of very interesting storylines that are going on right now in WWE. In this podcast, we're going to break down all of the matches, how they happened, who won, what I expect from where they are leading now going into this year's WrestleMania in Los Angeles. Let's get right into this. So right at the top, on the pre-show, we got a backstage video of Sami Zayn being confronted by Roman Reigns about his actions this past Friday night on SmackDown. Because on Monday Night Raw this past week, Roman Reigns told Sami Zayn that he wanted him to finish out the night and that he did not want to see him again until the Royal Rumble match. And then, on Friday Night SmackDown, Sami Zayn came in wearing a black hoodie and was talking to the Usos. So he was defying Roman Reigns in what he directed him to do. And that's exactly what Roman Reigns was confronting Sami Zayn on. And by the end of the vignette, Roman Reigns said that he didn't want to worry about that. He just wanted to worry about tonight. So he told Sami Zayn that he wanted him at his hip. He didn't want him to go nowhere unless Roman Reigns was with him. Very interesting stuff. And we will actually get into more of that later on. Then we got a look back at Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, as we all know, returned at WrestleMania 38 in a massive return for WWE. And then by the time that he got into Hell in a Cell against Seth Rollins, he had torn his pec completely off the bone. So he had to go in and have surgery and get that reconstructed. And that is essentially what we got to see in this little video package, was exactly everything that Cody Rhodes had to go through. The rehab, the surgeries, the doctor's visits, everything. That's what we saw in this video. And after that, that's when the show started. They went through the whole promo, welcome to the Royal Rumble, blah, 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 whatever. Then we opened up with the men's Royal Rumble match. And it's very, very interesting that WWE would choose to have the men's Royal Rumble match as the first match on the pay-per-view when we've been conditioned to it being the main event. The men's main event should always be the main event of the Royal Rumble, because the main event of WrestleMania is more than likely going to be a men's match for the World Heavyweight Championship. So for them to have it first right off the gate, really weird, and really, really just, I was like, what the hell? As soon as I was sitting there watching it. It was crazy. But here, I actually have, and this is how we're going to do this. So we've had two Royal Rumble matches last night. We had the men's Royal Rumble match and we had the women's Royal Rumble match. The rules for the Royal Rumble match is two superstars begin in the ring. Every 90 seconds, a new superstar enters until all 30 competitors have entered the ring. You are eliminated when you are thrown over the top rope and both feet hit the floor. The last remaining superstar standing after all 30 competitors have entered wins a guaranteed championship match at WrestleMania. So I have right here every single entrant for the men's Royal Rumble match. And we are going to go down the entire list, and I'm going to tell you exactly how they did, or if they did anything. If I skip past people and I don't really say anything about them in this match, it's because of the fact that they didn't really do anything in the match. It was almost like they were there for a few minutes and then they left. So Gunther and Sheamus started off at number 1 and 2. And they actually were able to make it to the final 4. And that's going to be something that we're going to get to here in a little bit. But Gunther and Sheamus started out the Royal Rumble match. And we've actually seen Gunther and Sheamus fight each other for the WWE Intercontinental Championship in recent weeks. And they both They work tremendously with each other. They are perfectly matched up as far as both of them being a brawler type professional wrestler. Both of them have very good physiques. They both are just really dominant in the ring. So when you take those two elements and you combine them together, it just makes something that is just fantastic. And just like Sheamus says, every single time he's in a match, it's banger after banger after banger. Sheamus is the shit. Coming out at number 3 was The Miz. You know, everybody knows The Miz. Miz is kind of just one of those people that nobody expects to win the Royal Rumble match. He's kind of just there, you know. And then coming out at number 4, this is something that I've always brought up to people when it comes to Kofi Kingston, is I don't really know what it is about the New Day, but they just don't really exert a lot of energy to me. They might to like little kids, and that's only because of the fact that WWE has to give that demographic something to attach to. But as far as an adult looking at it, it's really just, it's kind of embarrassing. Like, I liked it back in 2008 when Kofi Kingston was the boom, boom Kofi Kingston. You know, when he was the Jamaican character and all of that. That's when Kofi Kingston was golden. Because imagine if Kofi Kingston had been that character when he had won the WWE Championship, instead of making an embarrassment of the WWE Championship by putting it on the New Day Kofi Kingston, where he comes out throwing pancakes to the fucking crowd. How am I supposed to take that seriously as a real fan? My world champion throwing fucking pancakes. Makes no sense. After that, number 5, we got Johnny Gargano. And man, this is something I've wanted to talk about. Everybody is so high on Johnny Gargano, especially if they were fans of NXT. That is like their number one, case closed. He was so good in NXT. But if you've ever talked to me about professional wrestling, I've never once brought up NXT. Not once. And I am a professional wrestling fan. Okay, I have said on multiple occasions, I am not a WWE fan. I am not an AEW fan. I am not a New Japan fan. I'm not a AAA fan. I am a professional wrestling fan. So even me coming and saying that nobody gave a flying shit about NXT, trust me, nobody gave a shit about NXT. So you can't come to me and say that, but Johnny Gargano was so good in NXT. If he was so good in NXT, I'm pretty sure I would have brought him up at some point. But I haven't, because who gives a shit about NXT? What has he done on the main roster in WWE that separates him from everybody else, that we're going to put him on a pedestal as Johnny Gargano, the fucking great one? Whatever. And every single time he comes out, it sounds like a frickin' diva is coming out. I know we've moved away from diva era. Now we're in the women's era. But that's my exact point. He sounds like a diva. It makes me just cringe thinking about it. I don't get it, because it's like you having a actual good entrance and good music is crucial to your character. Like, look at The Undertaker. When he came out and the gong went off, and then you'd see the lighting with the lightning strikes and the moon hanging above the Titantron, and then the mist going down the stage. It added to his character. You need those elements for you to be taken seriously. When I look at and hear Johnny Gargano, I don't take him seriously. And he did not do good in this Royal Rumble at all. So that clearly tells you exactly how WWE feels about him. Not good. Not good. Number 6, we got Xavier Woods. So now we got both members of the New Day, because Big E is unfortunately injured at the moment. So we got 2 members of New Day in the Royal Rumble. Number 7, we got Karrion Kross. Now, Karrion Kross has almost been trying to be pushed as a major star on SmackDown. But Karrion Kross only got 3 minutes in the Royal Rumble. And I think everybody, including myself, kind of looked at that and was like, what are they doing? What are they doing with Karrion Kross? I mean, I'm not trying to, just sit here and dig on NXT. I knew NXT and I knew Karrion Kross. I saw his character in NXT and he was very good, very intriguing. Like, he had that, what I always say when it comes to big men, that beast mode. He could get into it and actually make you believe in him as a professional wrestler. So for him to come to the main roster and him only get 3 minutes, to me, is ridiculous. And then Johnny Gargano, who I just talked about, got 40 minutes in the Royal Rumble match. Why would Johnny Gargano get 40 minutes and Karrion Kross only get 3, 4? Makes no sense to me. That makes no freaking sense. Number 8, Chad Gable. Chad Gable is the workhorse. Chad Gable has been on a streak like nobody's business when it comes to performing every single week. Every single week, Chad Gable is in some type of match. It's insane. He is the workhorse of the WWE. Number 9, we got Drew McIntyre. Now, Drew McIntyre is actually always a favorite going into any matchup just because of how over he is with the fans. Drew McIntyre is awesome. His repertoire, his moveset, fucking next level. Really, really good stuff. Number 10, we got Santos Escobar. Number 11, we got Angelo Dawkins. And then number 12, Brock Lesnar came out into the Royal Rumble and he got a huge pop. Huge pop for Brock Lesnar. Obviously, always a fan favorite. Always just comes in and just annihilates people. And that's exactly what he did for the 90 seconds after he entered the ring. He just annihilated and was eliminating people. Then, number 13, Bobby Lashley comes out to the Royal Rumble. Now, I just did a podcast about Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 39. And I was talking about what I would find interesting about their whole interaction going into the Royal Rumble. And Bobby Lashley was actually able to eliminate Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar was only in the match for 6 minutes. Insane. Awesome. Because just like I said, Brock Lesnar attacking Bobby Lashley during his United States Championship match and costing him that championship. And then for Bobby Lashley to eliminate Brock Lesnar in the Royal Rumble, where he could have been given a championship match at WrestleMania, that is going to be their callous for them having whatever kind of match at WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles. So that was one story that we instantly got. Now we have penciled in for WrestleMania leaving the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. After that, number 14, we got Baron Corbin coming out to the ring. And Baron Corbin, to me, is one of the most underrated professional wrestlers that the WWE has hired. His moveset, like I always say, one of my biggest things when it comes to professional wrestlers is their ability to not do the same exact thing in every single match. If you can be a professional wrestler and you go in and the fans don't know what to expect from you because of how many moves you want to do or the things that you want to try to get across in the ring, that is better for everybody. And that, to me, is a fantastic pro wrestler. And that's exactly what Baron Corbin does. And he has one of the best finishers in all of WWE with the Deep Six. Absolutely, hands down, best finisher in all of WWE. Great. Number 15, we got Seth Rollins coming out. Number 16, we got the big man Otis. So now we got both of Alpha Academy out there, and Chad Gable and Otis. Number 17, Rey Mysterio was supposed to come out and be a part of the Royal Rumble. His music hit, his video was playing on the Titantron, everything was going. And then Rey Mysterio never came out. Very interesting. Everybody was like, what the hell? How come he's not coming out, right? Well, we actually found out. Number 18, Dominic Mysterio comes out. Rey Mysterio's son. And we all know that Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio are actually going to be having a match at this year's WrestleMania. That's the storyline that has been building over the past few months. And Dominic Mysterio came out with Rey Mysterio's mask on. And Dominic Mysterio looked just like his dad, but taller, obviously, in his mask. Insane. Like, just like him. Crazy. But that leaves me to believe, before we continue on with this list, that makes me believe, because it's known in the wrestling community that luchadors always wear their mask. You always see them with their mask. You don't see their face. It is luchador tradition that when you retire, you unveil your face. You stand in the middle of the ring, you're waving goodbye to the fans, doing whatever, and then you take off your mask and you let people see you for just who you are, like your face and everything. That's tradition, And that is exactly what Rey Mysterio is going to do with his son at WrestleMania. Because Rey Mysterio is getting to that point where he wants to retire. And so he wants to take a loss to his son. Let his son put away a legend. And then Rey Mysterio is going to unveil his face. And he's going to give his mask to Dominic Mysterio. Because Rey Mysterio actually wasn't the original holder of that mask. His dad was. That's why Rey Mysterio is actually Rey Mysterio Jr. His dad wore that mask in the 80s. Freaking interesting. So he would be a third generation Mysterio wearing that mask. Freaking awesome. Number 19, we got Elias. Number 20, we got Finn Balor. Number 21, we got Booker T coming out in the Royal Rumble match. I remember in 2005, when I was 10 years old and I started watching professional wrestling, Booker T was King Booker back then when he used to come out with Shamel on Friday Night SmackDown. Good shit. It's always good to see WWE legends, especially when WWE can use them in a proper manner. And I feel like the Royal Rumble match as a surprise is the most perfect way for WWE to utilize a legend. Number 22, we got Damian Priest coming out. So now we got all three members of Judgment Day in the Royal Rumble match. We got Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and now we got Damian Priest, all in the Royal Rumble match. And they start attacking everybody. Obviously, 3-on-1, 3-on-2, just attacking everybody, eliminating them. At number 23, we got Montez Ford coming out. At number 24, we got Edge, the Rated R superstar, coming out to the Royal Rumble match. And at this point, we actually had Rhea Ripley come out to the stage. And standing behind her was actually Edge's wife, Beth Phoenix, the WWE Hall of Famer. So we are actually speculating that we could get a Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley versus Edge and Beth Phoenix match at either Elimination Chamber or Fastlane, because Rhea Ripley, which we will get into later, will be at WrestleMania. Number 25, we got Austin Theory. Now, Austin Theory is very, very good. He is the current United States Champion. Do I believe that United States Champion should also get a WWE Universal Championship match at WrestleMania? No. So that's why he's just kind of here. Number 26, we got the big Nigerian giant, 7'3", 430-pound Omos coming out to the ring. Omos is just ridiculous. He is a freaking monster. 7'3", 430 pounds. Insane. After that, we got Braun Strowman. And we actually got a little moment there where Braun Strowman and Omos were standing face to face. And Omos is 7'3". I think Braun Strowman is like 6'11", and probably like maybe like 100 pounds lighter than Omos. So it was kind of like this. You know, he was just towering over him. Even though we know that Braun Strowman is known as the monster of all monsters. That's just his character. But for him to be towered by Omos is just... It was a crazy sight to see. At number 28, we got Ricochet. Ricochet coming out. Now, I don't really understand everybody's appeal on Ricochet. He didn't really do much in this match. The only thing that he really did that was highlightable was when number 29 came out. Logan Paul came out and had his first ever Royal Rumble match. And Logan Paul is quickly becoming one of my favorite professional wrestlers. I know that he may not be popular as far as the social media realm goes. But as far as him in a professional wrestling match, very good. He is so good at what he does. But Ricochet and Logan Paul actually had one moment that was just insane together because they're both high flyers. Logan Paul was standing on the outside of the ring on one end of the ring. Ricochet was standing on the other side of the ring, on the outside of the ropes. They both jumped up and then collided with each other in midair. Insane. Just really freaking cool to see. Then we got number 30. Cody Rhodes came out. The returning Cody Rhodes, after what I had told you guys earlier about him tearing his pec completely off of his shoulder. He finally comes back to WWE. Freaking awesome. So the final four. We're going to jump ahead to the final four that were left in the match. Austin Theory, Cody Rhodes, Gunther, and Sheamus. Or, not Sheamus, Seth Rollins. Sorry. Seth Rollins. Those were the last four that were in the match. Now, like I said earlier, I couldn't have seen Austin Theory winning the Royal Rumble because he's already United States champion. He got eliminated. After that, we had Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is a close call, but the last person who Cody Rhodes faced was at Hell in a Cell was Seth Rollins. So Seth Rollins got eliminated. Then it came down to Gunther and Cody Rhodes. Gunther actually made history yesterday. He became the first person, or the longest ever Royal Rumble participant in history with an hour and 12 minutes. Ridiculous. An hour. Over an hour wrestling. And doing anything physical over an hour is just insane for him. So Gunther really, really shined in this match. But Cody Rhodes at the end of it was able to hit the crossroads and then eliminate Gunther to secure his spot at this year's WrestleMania, and he is guaranteed a championship match in the main event. It's going to be freaking awesome. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship, where I predict that Cody Rhodes will finally win his first WWE Championship in his entire career. It's going to be freaking insane. Now, The Rock and Roman Reigns was predicted for this year's WrestleMania. I even predicted that myself. I said I could see that happening. The Rock performing in Hollywood for WrestleMania in his last ever professional wrestling match, that made the most sense. But because of the fact that The Rock has such a busy movie schedule or whatever else he's doing, he couldn't make time for the WWE this year. But there's also another point. I could see WWE wanting to save this match for WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. Okay, because everybody knows that WWE loves to do things in whole numbers. You know, the 10th episode, 15th, 20th, you know, the 40th WrestleMania, whatever. It's always the whole numbers that are like really, really taken care of as far as storylines. So I could actually see The Rock being like, okay, I can't make it this year, but if I make it a point to not schedule things early next year, then I could come in and work the WWE and work my final retirement match and then end up retiring. You know, so that is what I think is going to happen. But with us getting Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's going to be a good match regardless. So after the men's Royal Rumble match, we got the Pitch Black match. Now this is actually a WWE sponsorship match for Mountain Dew because they brought back the Pitch Black flavor for their soda. So WWE collabed with them and made up the Pitch Black match. And it was actually Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight in this match. This was Bray Wyatt's first match since he came back to WWE. It was really, really interesting. Nobody knew what to expect from a Pitch Black match. We've never seen one. We don't know the rules. The only rules that were there was pinfall, submission, no disqualification. That's it. That's it. And the lighting was almost this neon. Like, as if like you're in like a rave. You know how like everything glows up? It was neon. So the ring is usually white. So like the ropes became this like yellow or green. You know, like really bright like neon lime green. And then you saw Bray Wyatt's face paint. Because you could only see it under like a black light, essentially. Really, really good looking. Really cool. But it almost felt like this match was just there for no reason. There was really no reason to have this match. Because it didn't really make LA Knight look good. It didn't really make Bray Wyatt look good. Because we've been following Bray Wyatt and waiting for his first ever match for a while now. You know, we've gotten months of vignettes or backstage promos or little snippets, little teases here and there, having barcodes and all of that shit. And then we get to this match and this is how they want us to view him. To me, it didn't make any sense. But one point during this match, Bray Wyatt had set up a staircase right next to the announcer table. Bray Wyatt wanted to slam LA Knight through the announce table, but LA Knight was able to reverse it and hit a sidewalk slam on Bray Wyatt through the announce table. Then LA Knight got back into the ring. Bray Wyatt was able to get back into the ring. Bray Wyatt hits a Sister Abigail and gets the 1, 2, 3. Just like that. Super simple, really quick. Like I said, I don't really understand the point of it. I get the fact that they had a sponsorship, but to put on a match, at least put on a match. You know what I'm saying? So that was to me like the low point of this whole show was this match. But post-match, LA Knight attacked Bray Wyatt with the kendo stick. He started leading him out of the ring, going into the crowd. They start fighting going through the crowd. They reach up onto the stage, and LA Knight gets hit with a mandible claw by Bray Wyatt on the stage. He's sitting there holding his mouth, sticking his fingers in, just holding his mouth. And then you pan up, and we see Uncle Howdy standing on what looked to be like a scaffold of something with the stage. He's standing up there, and the camera pans up, and Uncle Howdy jumps off of the scaffold and goes through the stage with LA Knight. And that's how the segment cuts off. Really interesting. I don't understand how we're supposed to progress with all of this, because we were supposed to get a reveal on who Uncle Howdy was. We've seen him so many times standing in the ring, coming up onto the Titantron, like, again, little teases of him throughout barcodes and all of that stuff. It's just, we need to identify who this person is if you want us to care about him as a character. That's all I have to say about Uncle Howdy. After that, we got a WrestleMania vignette where it showed exactly how many days we have until WrestleMania. And during the program, we were at 63 days. Now that it's Saturday, we are 62 days away from this year's WrestleMania at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. It's going to be crazy. The next match, we got the Raw Women's Championship match. Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss. This was actually, again, a pretty short match. I think WWE wanted to kind of rush through the other matches, especially these two, to get to the Women's Royal Rumble and then the main event, because they knew that they needed more time to make sure that they got their point across with those stories. So this was somewhat of a slow, really quick match. But we did get a little bit of a story planted here. So I had just talked to you guys about Bray Wyatt. He had just performed in the Pitch Black match. Alexa Bliss is going to be a part of the Wyatt 6 when that comes to fruition. And Alexa...
Alexa Bliss was also rumored to become
Alexa,
a member of the...
Stop. Stupid thing. We'll just call her A then. So A is starting to get this sadistic side to her. And she's starting to show it a whole lot more in the ring. And I absolutely love it when A is sadistic. Because she's just so good at driving fans. You know, she's so good at cutting the promos. And I loved it when she had Lily the doll, and she had the swing inside the ring, and she was just swinging back and forth. It was just like really creepy. I love it. But we all know that Bianca Belair had won the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 38. And so I didn't know if going into this, if Bianca Belair was going to win, or if she was actually going to give the Raw Women's Championship or not. So it was really, really good. You know, Alexa throughout the match was really working on Bianca Belair's lower back. You know, really like driving her knee into it, really trying to break her down, break down her opponent. But Bianca Belair starts to build momentum. Well, Bianca Belair goes for a springboard. So you essentially run up to the ropes and then you bounce off of them and do a flip. And try and land on your opponent's midsection. Well, she went for the springboard, and Alexa Bliss brought her knees up. So after that, they start going back and forth again. And Bianca Belair is actually able to hit the springboard. And she tries to go for a cover. So they both get back up, they start fighting again. Bianca Belair hits the KOD, which is her finisher, and she ends up getting the 1, 2, 3. So Bianca Belair is going to be a part of the WWE Raw Women's Championship match at WrestleMania this year. Now, who she's going to face, that is yet to be determined, but I'm going to keep you guys I'm going to keep you guys on track of what exactly is going on, and then I will keep you guys updated. After the match, after Alexa Bliss had been pinned.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Uncle Howdy came up onto the screen. And you could see as like the Titantron was flickering and you saw Uncle Howdy's face, you saw this other side of her start to come out, start to creep out a little bit more. And so we're going to get a more sadistic side as the weeks go on. And I believe that she will be a part of a major storyline heading in to Royal Rumble. The next match of the night was the Women's Royal Rumble match. Now this is actually really interesting because to me, it felt like the Women's Royal Rumble match was actually more interesting than the Men's Royal Rumble match. Because everybody knew going into the Royal Rumble that either The Rock was going to win the Royal Rumble or Cody Rhodes was going to win the Royal Rumble. The Men's Royal Rumble. But when you look at the Women's Royal Rumble, nobody knew who was going to win. Because you had so many superstars that had the potential to win in this match. You know, you had Becky Lynch, you had Bayley, you had Asuka, you had frickin' Rhea Ripley, you had Tegan Nox, you had the returning Piper Niven. You had all of these women and nobody could actually tell who was going to win. But again, just like we did with the men's, we're going to break down all of the entrants. But this time I think I'm just going to go through the list, just name them off really fast, and then again I'll tell you the final three, and then I'll tell you guys the winner. Rhea Ripley came out at number 1. Number 2 was Liv Morgan. Number 3 was Dana Brooke. Number 4 was Emma. Number 5 was Shayna Baszler. Number 6 was Bayley. Number 7, B-Fab. Number 8, Roxanne Perez, who did a fantastic job tonight, by the way. Amazing job by Roxanne Perez. Number 9, Dakota Kai. Number 10, Io Sky. Number 11, Natalya. Number 12, Candice LeRae. Number 13, Zoe Stark. Number 14, Xia Li. Number 15, Becky Lynch. 16, Tegan Nox. 17, the returning Asuka. She looked badass tonight with her whole like darker character of her original character. Amazing. Amazing stuff. Number 18, the returning Piper Niven. Number 19 was Tamina. Number 20 was Chelsea Green. Number 21 was Zelina Vega. Number 22, Raquel Rodriguez. Number 23, Mia Yim. Number 24, Lacey Evans. Number 25, Michelle McCool, The Undertaker's wife. Lucky man, Undertaker. Very, very lucky man, Undertaker. Number 26, Indy Hartwell. Number 27, Sonya Deville. Number 28, Shotzi Blackheart. Number 29, Nikki Cross. And number 30, the returning Nia Jax. That was the women's entrance for the Women's Royal Rumble for 2023. At the end of the match, it came down to 3 superstars. Asuka, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley. At the end, Rhea Ripley flips Liv Morgan off of the ring apron onto the ground, and she is the last woman standing in the Women's Royal Rumble match. So we are going to get Rhea Ripley in a guaranteed Women's Championship match this year at WrestleMania. Now this is something I want to throw out to you guys because I think it's actually very interesting. Dominic Mysterio is supposed to face Rey Mysterio, like I said earlier, at this year's WrestleMania. Rey Mysterio went to Friday Night SmackDown to get away from Dominic Mysterio on Monday Night Raw. So Dominic Mysterio is going to have to go to Friday Night SmackDown and convince his dad to face him at WrestleMania, which will happen in the next following weeks. Rhea Ripley can either choose to fight for the SmackDown Women's Championship or the Raw Women's Championship. But we all know that Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio are in bed with each other. They are a team. Rhea Ripley at the end of this match was so over that she is now what we call an anti-hero. She's a good guy and a bad guy. She's a bad guy that is good to the fans because, like fucking Robin Hood or something, right? Rhea Ripley could go to SmackDown and challenge Charlotte Flair, who is a heel, for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship, because people are expecting it to be Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley, but Bianca Belair is a babyface. Rhea Ripley tonight made herself a babyface because of her performance. She went from number 1, the first entrant in the Royal Rumble, outlasted everybody, all 30 competitors coming out, lasted over an hour long wrestling, and then ended up winning the match. She became a babyface. So you can't have a babyface challenging a babyface. That's not how it works. You gotta have babyface heel. You can have anti-hero heel. You can have anti-hero babyface. But it wouldn't work because we don't know if she's just gonna be an anti-hero or if she's a full-on babyface now. Because she's over now. Everybody loves Rhea Ripley now because of her performance. She did so good. So that's why I even did a video a few weeks ago about Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. And then you have people in the IWC who are podcasters saying that that's a stupid idea. Why is that a stupid idea? If Rhea Ripley ends up becoming the WWE SmackDown Women's Champion, she's better off for it. She's a good enough wrestler who actually deserves it. So I don't care who she faces at WrestleMania. As long as Rhea Ripley comes out of WrestleMania as the champion, I'm happy. Because Rhea Ripley is way too good for her not to have a championship. Way too good. After that, we got the main event. This was for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. Roman Reigns, alongside Sami Zayn and Paul Heyman, took on Kevin Owens. Now this was actually, again, a pretty good match short match because it was everything that happened after the match that we're really going to talk about. Roman Reigns ended up hitting a spear on Kevin Owens and picking up the win about 10 minutes after this match had started. Not a super long match, not a super serious match. It was everything that happened afterward. Paul Heyman comes up on the side of the ring. Roman Reigns is sitting there and he's holding a chair in the ring. He's holding it. Paul Heyman hands him 2 pairs of handcuffs. Roman Reigns then gives the handcuffs to the Usos and tells them to tie Kevin Owens up. So they tie Kevin Owens up onto the ropes. They deliver 10 super kicks to Kevin Owens, and he's obviously, out, just not even there. Roman Reigns is standing there with a chair, and he picks it up like he's about to go and swing it. Sami Zayn steps in front of him and stops him and tells him that he's above what he's doing because he's the tribal chief. He's the Universal Champion. And Sami Zayn is sitting there pleading with him, and he's telling him, you are the champion. You don't have to do this. You're the champion. You already won the match. Roman Reigns gets pissed. He goes up to Kevin Owens and he starts yelling at him. Hands the chair to Sami Zayn and is telling Sami Zayn, well, if I'm not going to do it, you should do it. You should be the one to do it. So he's almost forcing Sami Zayn to turn his back on his friend. There was this one camera angle because after Sami Zayn took the chair from Roman Reigns went back up to Kevin Owens and was screaming at him. And there was this moment where it looked like Sami Zayn was going to pick up the chair and hit Roman Reigns with it. And he was hesitant on it. Then Roman Reigns turns around and asks Sami Zayn if he's really a part of the bloodline and all of that. Roman Reigns turns around for 1 second and Sami Zayn just blasts him in the back with the steel chair. Roman Reigns goes down onto the ground. The Usos are standing right behind Sami Zayn looking at him like, what the hell are you doing? That's not a part of the plan. Sami Zayn was looking at him like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Usos delivered another super kick. Roman Reigns gets up after being delivered a chair shot to the back. And the Usos start obliterating Sami Zayn. Just on top of him, just pounding away. It was insane. It was pretty sad, to be honest with you. It was pretty sad because this has been a storyline that has been building for close to like 10 months now. Very, very, very detailed storyline. So for it to finally come to fruition where he's getting kicked out of the bloodline and he's trying to come to the defense of Kevin Owens, and then the bloodline just destroys Sami Zayn. It was very, very sad, but this is another storyline that's going to be heading into WrestleMania. It's going to be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, for the WWE Tag Team Championships this year at WrestleMania 39. And this is the official beginning of that story. But like I said, it's very, very sad to see the fantastic Sami Zayn bloodline story finally come to a conclusion. And that is exactly how the show left on the air. Roman Reigns was standing in the aisleway looking back at a broken Sami Zayn and a broken Kevin Owens in the ring. And that's how the Royal Rumble pay-per-view went off the air. Really, really crazy stuff, man. Really, really crazy stuff. This WrestleMania season is going to be so action-packed. There's going to be so many storylines building up. And it's going to be so interesting to follow. And I'm going to be coming at you guys with so much content this WrestleMania season. And I think we're going to do something special for WrestleMania. I'm not going to tell you guys exactly what I have planned, but I got some plans. This is going to be freaking awesome. So if this is the kind of content you guys like pro wrestling, you guys like podcasts, you guys want somebody who has been watching professional wrestling for 17 years and absolutely lives and breathes it and is actually going to give it to you guys straight, then this is the channel for you. Make sure to hit that like, comment down below, and tell me your guys' favorite moment from last night's Royal Rumble. I'll catch you guys next week with some more content. I'll catch you guys later.